Stand now in the calm you once chased. The noise has not vanished, yet it can no longer reach you. Where anger once burned, stillness hums, a quiet rhythm of control. You have learned the art of pause, the dignity of silence, and the sovereignty of presence. Let others speak in thunder. You will answer in calm rain. Let their opinions whirl. Your mind remains the unmoved sky above them. Every breath you take is proof that composure can be louder than any shout. Guard this discipline as sacred work. Each time disrespect returns, remember, you've already won the moment you refuse to perform. Breathe, observe, and remain untouchable. Type this vow in your heart or in the world below. I am calm, complete, and self-commanded. My peace is my power. Stay grounded, stay disciplined, and guard your inner citadel.
When the outer world grows unpredictable, a Stoic rebuilds inward. The citadel is your unseen fortress, crafted not from stone, but from principles lived daily. You strengthen its walls each time you keep a promise to yourself. Tell the truth when no one's watching, or exercise discipline when comfort tempts. These quiet acts of integrity reinforce the structure where no insult can reach. Confidence no longer depends on applause, and peace no longer trembles under disapproval. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man's worth shines in the work his soul demands of him. That work is the architecture of your composure. Within these walls, storms sound distant. Opinions echo faintly, powerless to bruise the core of self-knowledge. You discover that the fortress isn't isolation. It's alignment with your highest virtue. From here, every reaction becomes a choice. Every silence, deliberate strength.
True self-respect is measured not by how quickly you react, but by how quietly you retract. When someone proves they can't value your presence, the Stoic answer isn't confrontation, it's controlled distance. You lessen their clearance to your energy. You respond slower, speak shorter, reveal nothing that can be twisted against you. This isn't revenge, it's resource management. Your attention and warmth are currencies too valuable to spend on those who treat them like loose change. The moment you step back, they feel the absence they once took for granted. Most will panic and chase. A few will notice their own reflection and learn. Either way, you remain composed, unmoved, sovereign. Strategic withdrawal doesn't freeze the heart, it preserves it. You're not closing doors out of bitterness. You're simply locking your peace inside, where only respect holds a key. Silence is not emptiness, it's concentrated power. The noisy crave reaction because sound confirms control. When you refuse to feed that hunger, the dynamic inverts. The other person begins to unravel under the weight of their own discomfort. Your stillness becomes a mirror reflecting their insecurity back at them, forcing them to face what they tried to project onto you. The Stoics treated silence as strategy, not avoidance. It allows truth to reveal itself without your interference. Each quiet second you hold is a declaration. My peace is not up for negotiation. Say less than they expect, pause longer than they endure, and let awkwardness work as your ally. In this restrained quiet, dignity amplifies and noise collapses. You win not by arguing louder, but by refusing to compete in chaos. Power, in its purest form, breathes in silence.
Here is the maneuver the Stoics would admire for its precision. When a person tries to bait you, through mockery, sarcasm, or veiled arrogance, you keep your eyes steady, your breathing even, and you ask one question. Are you hoping for a reaction from me? 10 words that move the ground beneath them. You do not accuse, you expose intention. The effect is instantaneous.
Their scheme for control suddenly hangs in silence, stripped of power. No defense, no explanation, just awareness. This single sentence drags manipulation into daylight where it can't survive. They stumble because the game depends on your outrage, not your observation. In that moment, you become mirror and judge simultaneously. You show calm not as retreat, but as dominance over impulse. And from then on, their chaos has nowhere left to land. It collapses under your quiet certainty. The wound from disrespect deepens only when the ego wraps itself around the moment. It whispers, "They questioned your value. Prove them wrong." That whisper is a leash. The Stoic response is to cut it clean. Remove me from the equation, and the poison dies on contact. The insult wants partnership. It needs your ego to survive. Without your participation, it collapses, starved of reaction. Epictetus warned that others can only hurt you if you decide their opinions define you. Detachment isn't denial, it's mastery of perspective. You still feel emotion, but you refuse to worship it. Each time you choose silence over ego defense, metal hardens around your composure. The voice that urges you to retaliate grows quieter, smaller, until it's just background noise. Freedom begins the moment you no longer perform from misunderstanding. You simply remain, anchored, calm, sufficient. Every insult is smoke. It looks solid when it hits you, but reach for it and your hand closes on air. When someone mocks or belittles you, their words aren't truth, they're projection. They reveal a story about them, not you. A confident mind doesn't need to wound, only the insecure strike first. The Stoics taught that the one who insults is confessing turmoil, a temporary madness searching for release. The tragedy is that we accept their delivery as a verdict on our worth. We wear borrowed pain like custom armor and call it identity. The illusion is thinking their disrespect is about you. The reality is that it's a flare from their own fire. Once you see this, the sting dissolves. You stop auditioning for approval. Their judgment remains with them, while your peace returns home to your command, untouched. Now pause here, because what comes next separates ordinary reaction from unshakable control. Most people never reach this level of composure because they miss one crucial shift, a single Stoic mechanism that rewires your emotional reflexes completely. It isn't a trick sentence or a manipulative tactic, it's something rarer, a mental pivot so subtle that once you see it, disrespect loses its grip forever. If you skip this next understanding, the storm will keep returning under new names: irritation, offense, insecurity. But once you master it, insults become empty gestures, powerless to touch the calm you've built. What you are about to uncover is not theory. It's a discipline used by emperors and survivors alike. Hold your focus. The next lesson is the hinge between reacting like everyone else and ruling your inner world like the few who never flinch. Centuries before modern psychology gave names to anger and anxiety, the Stoics built an inner technology for peace. They believed that between stimulus and response lives a sacred interval, small, invisible, yet mighty enough to determine your destiny. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet wrote humble reminders to himself. You cannot control the insult, only your interpretation of it. Epictetus, once enslaved, found a freedom no master could touch. Their message was not passive surrender, it was disciplined sovereignty. To them, calm was not weakness, it was weaponized clarity. They refused to let external chaos script their emotions. Each sneer, each criticism became a test. Will you hand over your mind or keep it under command? In this silence, they found unmatched strength. The Stoic alternative is not detachment from life. It's engagement without dependence on anyone's decency.
Most people live trapped between two losing instincts. The first is to fight, to throw the insult back sharper, to prove strength through noise. It feels righteous for a moment, but anger never wins peace. It only mirrors the chaos of the offender. The second instinct is subtler, yet just as costly. To smile, to shrink, to swallow the sting so nothing escalates. That path poisons quietly, teaching others that your dignity is negotiable. Both choices look like control from the outside, yet both are submission. One to fury, the other to fear. The world has conditioned you to choose between explosion and silence, between burning or fading. But the Stoics discovered a third road, one paved not with reaction, but with reason. Power, they taught, lives in that pause where instinct ends and awareness begins. That pause is the doorway to freedom.
Inside your chest, two forces collide. One screams for retaliation, demanding that you defend your worth with sharp words and louder volume. The other whispers for restraint, begging you to hold your composure and not let them win. Your pulse beats like a warning drum, urging you toward the familiar battlefield of reaction. Thoughts spiral, every past humiliation, every unanswered insult rising like ghosts. You feel both the urge to tear down and the desperation to disappear. This is the inner war no one sees. Anger disguising fear, pride shielding pain. You want justice, but you also crave peace. In this storm of impulses, a question flickers. Who truly rules you right now? The one who throws the...
You're standing there, certain that the conversation is harmless, a meeting, a dinner, another ordinary moment inside an unremarkable day. Then, without warning, it lands. A sly remark, framed as a joke, but aimed like a blade. You feel the heat rise up your neck, the quick thudding of your heart. For a split second, instinct demands chaos. Defend, attack, explain, anything but stay still. Yet in that sliver of time, you witness a strange truth. Disrespect erupts not from strength, but from fracture. The aggressor hides behind laughter because silence terrifies them. The words that could escape your lips pulse behind clenched teeth, but something steadier begins to bloom. You don't have to join their storm. You can choose a different posture, a different power. The room buzzes with tension, but you breathe. A single decision forms. Today, your calm will become your retaliation.